Here's JJ Irani, as promised, with more on where the steel industry is headed. Mr. Irani, great to have you on the show. First, your thoughts on why there's a bit of a lag or a gap right now between domestic prices and the demand structure compared to what's happened globally.
I think what we had said 2 months back is now panning out. The global steel prices have fallen during this period, but the fall is now very much, shall we say, flatter. And the interesting feature is that the global steel prices now are more or less equal to the Chinese internal price, which is just below $400 for hot roll band. And I don't think there is any scope for the prices to fall any further from there.
Mr. Irani, morning. There is a feeling that Indian prices have not come off nearly as much as global prices over the last 4 to 8 weeks. Do you see that situation as being sustainable, or do you think there'll need to be more and more degrees of protection from the government to keep that situation going?
There's hardly any protection from the government anyway, and now international and Indian prices have to meet, so to speak. You cannot sustain a unviable difference. And as far as Indian prices are concerned, they are flat now. In fact, there is a slight trend going up, and I think that trend may well improve, because in India the demand and supply position is quite different from that abroad. Our steel consumption has held up, and quite a few of the companies are going full out.
But as you said yourself that Indian prices cannot be very different from global prices, and the World Steel Association is saying 15% demand shrinkage next year, which does not make the case for any kind of an upmove in steel prices very strong. Do you think then for the rest of 2009 at least, steel prices are capped internationally and capped locally?
Yes, please remember that since July or August of last year, prices have fallen by over $700. They had peaked at over $1,100, the export price, and now they're just under $400. So the fall has been over $700 per ton, and that is quite substantial. And I don't think there's any room for any further fall. If anything, they will be creeping up soon.
So if there were to be a readjustment, Mr. Irani, in prices, you think it's more likely that international prices will rise a little bit in tandem with domestic prices here, rather than that both trend lower?
I think the international prices influence Indian prices, not the other way around. And but we are in a way insulated against the international market, because our demand has not fallen anywhere near what has happened internationally. Internationally, we know steel companies have cut down their production 20, 30, even 40%. In India, that was not necessary. So though the consumption may not go up compared to last year, I don't think there will be any fall. And I don't think there will be any further fall in the local steel prices also. If anything, as I've already said, there will be a move upwards now. And our infrastructure programs are going on quite well, and therefore the demand for long products is going up, and that is the area which has sustained up to now.
The pressure was doubly intense last year, Mr. Irani, because of how much input or raw material pressure steel companies were facing, particularly on iron ore. What's your sense of how contracts might be renegotiated this year?
I think there's already an indication from China and elsewhere that the raw material suppliers have agreed to a substantial reduction in iron ore prices. I think they increased them over the last 2 years to take advantage of a situation where the steel prices were going up. And now that they know that the steel demand is not going up and that the production is going to come down, they have the Australian, Brazilian and other steel producers have agreed to ore producers have agreed to a substantial cut in iron ore prices for the new contracts.
Dr. Irani, at $400, let's assume or work with the current numbers, at $400 international price of HR, do you think Indian companies of the two categories, one which are locally focused and sell principally to the domestic market, and ones which have a big global exposure like Tata Steel with Chorus now, do you think both these sets of companies can operate with reasonable degree of profitability at $400?
It depends on also on where their raw materials are coming from. Those steel companies which are sourcing the materials from their own resources in India or elsewhere stand a far better chance of making a profit than those which are buying iron ore. And even now, of course, the iron ore cost currently is quite high because of the old contracts. But the new contracts will kick in April. Some must have kicked in April, and others will kick in by June and July. So that will bring substantial relief as far as the cost of iron ore is concerned. And also the same thing applies for coking coal also.
What about European companies like Chorus? Do you think they can be profitable at $400?
It depends on, once again, their contract. I think most of the European companies, even now, are going through a production cut. Till that production cut is restored, I think they will find difficulty in maintaining profitability.
In most asset classes, Dr. Irani, people are trying to gauge whether or not prices have bottomed out. At current global prices of about $400, would you say this is the base that steel prices may have built for the next 6 to 12 months, or do you think this is probably the level that prices are going to hover around?
I think this will be the level at which prices will hover. If anything, over the next 3, maybe 6 months, there will be a slow upward trend, but nowhere near what had been observed in the previous 2 years when the price zoomed up to over $1,100. I think it will be a very slow, hard grind upwards.
We appreciate your time today, Dr. Irani. Thank you for speaking with us. That's one voice on the steel industry and where prices might be headed. Markets still